This show is brought to you by HostBaby.com, web hosting for musicians.
This time, it's all about how to position your music. Sure, you could be the generic pop or rock or R&B artist, or you could cater to a niche music market. That's what's in store on this episode. Stay tuned.
Information, inspiration, motivation for the modern musicpreneur.
Time to start your week right.
Here it comes, Music Marketing Monday, with your host, Bob Baker,
Mr. Buzz Factor,
and Billy Gryzak.
the music marketing mind.
Ready? Are you sure?
Set.
Here it comes. Swing, baby.
Good morning Monday. Good morning, music marketing people. So, is it niche or niche? Niche. Who really cares?
I think it's tomato, actually.
Exactly. So here we go. We're going to throw our tomatoes and our tomatoes, our potatoes, our niche and our niches, and we are going to figure out what else you can do. We're continuing with our listener blah, 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 blah.
Feedback, listener feedback.
I'm not even going to edit that out, okay? Because you know why? Because I'm Billy Gryzak, the music marketing mind, and this is
blah, 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 blah. Actually, Bob Baker, Mr. Buzz Factor. See, you say blah, blah, blah with style, with enthusiasm, you know?
Well, yeah, I have nothing, you know, I if it wasn't for enthusiasm, I wouldn't be functioning. That's what keeps me alive. Enthusiasm and prescription medicine.
It's keeping you alive.
That's it, man.
Propping you up for the good of all musicians everywhere.
So anyway, man, we're still into it, man. Several weeks ago, we asked our listeners, our fans, our followers, and by the way, if this is your first time listening to the Mad Music, excuse me, that's not this show. That's my other show. If this is your first time listening to Music Marketing Monday, you're probably wondering, is this the crap that they do every week? And the answer is yes! This is exactly what we do. We have fun because music, making music, marketing music, making a living in music should be fun. If it's not fun, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you should do something else, you know?
It ain't worth doing, man. Yeah, that's right. So we have fun, but we educate, and we entertain. I think it's called educationment.
Actually, there's a term for that in kids music. They call it, now I forgot what it was. It's
edutainment?
Edutainment, yeah. Yes. We are the kings of music marketing edutainment, I guess. So, anyway. But they,
so I'm sorry, I didn't mean this. Let's just talk over each other for half the, yeah. May I? The last two episodes, we talked about niche, what was it, niche performing venues? Yeah, the different places that you can play, like alternative performance spaces. Sort of related to that, but different, is the niche music markets that you can serve. So this is more like stylistically, how you can present yourself. I'm probably going to be focusing a lot on like album concepts, perhaps, but it also applies to live gigs and all sorts of stuff. And you, as always, Billy, have a wealth of personal experience with this particular thing, and maybe you should start off talking about what you've done in this niche market area.
Well, you know, I've always been all about that. I didn't realize what I was doing when I first started, which is why I think programs like this are awesome, because I spent, 20, 30 years trying to figure it out. And if I had somebody to lay it down in front of me and say, you could do this, that, and the other thing, it would have saved me a lot of time. But yeah, what I figured out early on was, you can't please everybody, so don't even bother trying, okay? And I also found out that certain types of groups of people, whether it's music buyers, people that go out to listen to bands that are, gravitating towards this type of entertainment or whatever, also spend various amounts of money and get excited at different levels, So I think one of the best things you can do is ask yourself, what is it that you really love yourself and you dig? And what type of group would you like to cater to that you'd feel good about? You know what I mean? I've come across a lot of people that are unhappy playing in country bands that would rather be playing death metal. You know what I mean? So I think it's important to know who you are and then find your tribe, so to speak, and cater to them. And in some cases, like myself, I have so many interests that, like, I'm catering to a lot of different tribes or a lot of different niche markets at once, you know?
Right.
So, you know, so that's my thing right off the bat. I'm never afraid to reinvent myself and jump into something that I'm passionate about.
Yeah, and even when you're in the right genre, you can break that down even further and to occupy a specific aspect of that genre, and that's actually what you've done very effectively in the children's music market.
Right? Yeah.
When
I first started playing kids music, I had no clue what kids music was really. So I kind of looked around and I got a feel for what was happening, and it seemed that most of the people that were playing kids music were more of the folk singer set. A lot of the folks, you were kind of wearing the Hawaiian shirts, shorts, sandals, acoustic guitars. Nothing against that. That's wonderful. And it's nice and gentle and it's fun. But then I thought, I'm a rocker. I like to play electric guitar, and I wonder if there's a market for that. And as it turns out, early on, the kids, when I would ask them, like, what do you like to listen to? I was finding out that the music that they said they liked, and this is little kids, I'm talking like kindergarten and stuff, they would mention stuff that their parents liked, like, listening to Kiss or Led Zeppelin or, whatever, or, good classic rock, a lot of 80s, 70s, 80s.
Stuff we were weaned on.
Yeah, exactly. And then even right, and now the kids, are even like more into the 90s and 2000 music, like Nirvana and stuff and all that, or even some of the rap music, whatever. But the point was, back then I said, well, there's a great opening. I don't know anybody at all that's playing electric guitar, playing rock and roll for kids. So I jumped into that, and I pretty much dominated the market, like bam, right out of the door. Shortly after that, there was this whole movement called Kindy, which was basically a bunch of people playing electric guitars for kids. So then what I did was I moved even further into a niche market, and I decided, since I'm from the Midwest and I'm pretty much a classic rocker, that I would take it a step further. And now I've branded myself as, the Mighty Mr. Billy, original and classic rock for kids and families. And, now the music is very, distorted guitar driven. And it really, and with drums, and it's pretty high energy. It's not nap time music, And because you can get that other stuff anywhere, but if you want real, serious Midwest classic rock for your kids, if that's what your family likes listening to, then you come to me, because a lot of these other people that are doing electric guitars, they're still doing like alt music and pop music, and it's not really, or there's a bunch of people try to do like 50 sounding music. They're a little out of touch, because at my shows, when the parents come out, the parents have, tattoos, piercings, purple hair and stuff, and that's like the moms, you know what I mean? So it's like,
right.
So I'm catering to that group, and it goes quite well, so that's just one example of niche marketing.
And that example is where you occupy a niche stylistically, or genre wise. So you're in kids music, which is is a subset of overall music. But then within kids music, there are subsets in there. There's the folk style things. There's the I'm sure there's somebody's probably doing reggae or something. I don't know.
Yeah, There's what's that? Rap. Rap is real big. Hip hop is big.
Yeah.
Lots and lots and lots and lots of folk. Lots of what I call traditional kids music, which is kind of fluffy. Alternative, there's a lot of, that type of coffee house music, alternative music, REM kind of sounding bands. And they each have their own thing,
So you can, so that's one way to set yourself apart in your genre, is to occupy a subset of it, a little specific genre related slice that's, that would, then make you unique within the overall field. However, there's another one that I know I'd like to talk about, and you have done brilliantly, and that's where you also set yourself apart thematically. And you can do that with your overall career too, but I think, what I like to focus on is how you could do it by album. So you have a ton of kids' music's albums out in this classic rock style, but almost in every case, every album has a theme, correct?
Right, and each album actually caters to a different market, also under the umbrella of libraries, which is like, libraries are great because libraries is where all the information is, and they have information and music and art in all styles. So I create, 20 I have like 28 CDs, but like 28 albums, but like 20 of them are themed, and they're all themed differently, and they all cater to a different audience. We have one out, which is great because I'll be able to use it next year to get a lot of work. I have one all about superheroes, which is very timely. And the libraries next year, that's what their feature is. It's going to be superhero books and superhero stories and music.
Oh, wow. And so you obviously are tapped into the library ecosphere or whatever. And so when you know that that's what they're planning for next summer, Billy's smart and goes, I'm going to write an album and be the guy who's there to support them in that.
I've actually done that for about 6 or 7 years. So every year I've released an album specifically for their theme. Yeah, exactly. Then, of course, there's this thing called Six Trait Writing, which is real big in academia, and teachers are looking for that. So we did a whole album about the writing traits, for instance. So then we've done water, we've done science, we've done science fiction. I mean, all these different, themes just go, to that. And don't turn the show off just because I'm talking about kids' music, because you can do this no matter what you do, whatever your genre is. Like we talked last week about the fella that does the Christian reggae music, and that, what a niche that is. That's very specific, to that,
right. And so, just to speak to that, I know a lot of artists will go, well, I just play love songs or generic, I don't like to pigeonhole myself, and I'm not going to be known as the, the pop song railroad, whatever. So it might not apply. It may not seem like it applies to you, and you don't have to apply this concept to your overall career. But is there a way you can put out an album or do like a tour or a special show that has a theme that sets you apart from, hey, I play generic, nice songs that you can sing along with? Can you do it for some specific aspect of your career?
I would think so. And I mean, a real good example of that is like some of these albums have gotten together, like 4, 5, 6, 12 bands, whatever, and released like, the awareness for autism album, or the there'll be an album about, going green, or maybe, here's an interesting sub genre, find something that's really popular. There was an album, speaking of green, there was an album released a few years ago, whatever, called Green. And what it was all these alt bands like OK Go and some of these really out there kind of, alternative bands, all were doing covers of songs by the Muppets.
Oh, wow.
And it's huge, cool. And it's huge with Muppet fans and Disney fans and all that. Now the Muppets are super popular, that those songs are getting they're getting spun again, Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is the music is so different and so far removed from what a Muppet fan would listen to, that it opened those groups up to whole new audiences. I mean, my daughter is a huge Muppet fan, and there's like 2 or 3 bands that she really found there that Neon Trees. She's a big Neon Trees freak now, and because they were on the Muppet thing, and then she went out and talk about sub niches. She went out and bought their new album on vinyl because she doesn't buy CDs. She only buys vinyl, which is a whole other niche, by the way. Sidebar. Album sales have just peaked at 6 million. Vinyl records peaked at 6 million this year. So what we're seeing here is, in the micro niche, not only do you want to, like I know you were saying, you can be this kind of band or you can record this kind of album, but how are you going to release it? That's also a niche market in itself. Are you going to make CD? You know what? We have a group. We have this group called the Music Career ICU. And the Music Career ICU is a membership driven group on Facebook, and we have this one band in there. They're a teenage band, and they were saying, how should we release our album? Should we make CDs? Should we do download cards? Should we do vinyl? And my answer to this is, well, what do the people that are most likely to listen to your music, how do they listen to music? Because I know there's a lot of people, believe it or not, don't own CD players, nor do they even own disk drives on their computers. I mean, I've got 2 Apple computers here that do not have disk drives in them, for instance. My daughter has a laptop that does not have a disk drive. So it is making a CD to a group of people that don't even have discs is that an option? You know what I'm saying? Do
Right.
they download? Do they want vinyl? Do they want, 8-track tapes? I don't know.
Cassettes maybe making a comeback.
I just read where they're trying to have a cassette revival, which I think is kind of dumb.
Yeah, I
but
think so.
whatever. I mean, people probably thought that about the album vinyl comeback. But so my point is, you can have micro niche even right in with the media that it's printed on, not the media, social media, or the print media. I'm talking about the medium, the actual
The format.
yeah, the format. So it goes on and on and on and on. I have a feeling it's going to be a two-parter.
It could be. I know I've got some examples here that I'd like to share of the themed album, just to give you some ideas.
Yeah, let's do that.
So I got so a guy I've actually met him a couple of times at the Taxi Road Rally. His name is Brad Belt, and he wrote a lot of straight ahead songs and country songs and pop songs and so on. But he was at a workshop, and whoever the speaker was said, "Write about what you love and what you know." So he asked himself, "Well, what do I love?" And he came back with the answer: he liked to play golf, and he enjoyed the funny things that happened when he would play golf with his buddies. So he decided to write a funny golf song. His friends loved it, so he wrote another one, and then another one, and then he ended up putting together a whole album of these humorous golf-related songs, and it ended up having like CD release parties and stuff at like country clubs and golf courses, where obviously the target audience was right there. And I think that was ended up being his most popular album and, series of songs that he put out. I just recently re-released this program that I put together called a couple of years ago called Holiday Music Marketing, and I actually featured you in there because you did a pretty actually you did a very clever thing where you sold like 3,000 copies of a Christmas album that you had not even recorded yet to a mall in your area. But another thing that comes to mind, and we could talk about that more, but another guy in there is this guy named, I think his name is Jonah Knight, and he does performs at like sci-fi conventions and stuff like that, and kind of appeals to the geek crowd. But he came out with an album called Creepy Christmas. So it's all Christmas songs that appeal to nerds and sort of weird, the weird kind of avant-garde.
Hey! I'm one of those guys, man.
And you wear it proudly. Yes.
I do, man.
And so, yeah, these are just ideas of, again, is there a themed album that you can put out? And then the classic one, I know we've mentioned it before. I've mentioned it many times over the years. My friend Mark Gunn, he plays like Celtic Irish folk kind of music. And he also is generally a cat. He has cats and he loves cats. So this is the ultimate niche album. It's hilarious though. It's called Irish Drinking Songs for Cat Lovers.
I love it, man. That is great.
So he took all these like public domain old Irish folk songs and did parodies of them with cat references throughout. And he's actually like been hired to speak at like cat shows and and pet related things. Speaking of that, there's even music for while you're away, like how people put on music when they leave so their I guess their animals can hear something and they leave the TV on. Well, somebody ingeniously thought of creating albums that you put on while you're away for your cat, for your dog.
Hey man, whatever works,
Yeah.
Hey, before the show we were having our little pre-chat, and you had mentioned an incredible resource that every single one of us with a computer, and obviously you have a computer because you're listening to us right now. So in some way or shape, you have something that computes, whether it's in your hand or on your desk.
Right.
And you told me about an incredible resource that I like to think that I'm a master of Google, doing bizarre searches on Google. But you gave me a really great idea today, and I was wondering if you'd be into sharing that with our listeners. Yeah.
Yes, and this is a great, like, a research tool that probably people don't realize. I'm sure you're familiar with this, but maybe you've never thought about it in this way. But with Google, and even with, like, I'm on Amazon right now. It's this thing called autofill. So you'll start typing in a term, and Google tries to guess what you're typing, and it gives you a whole bunch of selections, or options related to that. So if I put in music marketing, it'll put music marketing tips, music marketing plan, and it's like a drop down menu. And if it's the thing you're planning on typing, it'll save you time just by clicking on the one that you were planning on typing out. Well, Amazon does the same thing, and I know a lot of other sites do too. So I'm on Amazon in their music section right now, and I started typing music for space, and these are just some of the autofill like options and basically the autofill. What it is, it's indicating things that people have searched for. So this is like things that people are actively searching for, or things that are maybe popular in the system. Otherwise, it wouldn't list it there. So that's how it determines what to put in that autofill section. But I've got music for ballet class, music for quiet moments, music for sleep, music for concentration, for deep meditation, music for massage, for meditation. This is a weird one, for airports, music for running, and those are just probably some of the possibilities. But somebody has crafted albums on all of these topics. What do you think of that, sir?
I think that's amazing. Now you were in Google, you were in Amazon doing that, right?
I was just on Amazon doing that. I imagine the same thing.
Right. Well, I just did the same thing on Google, and like I came up with like music for kids, music for babies, music for running, music for all. I mean, that's pretty cool. So, and then you could try different variations of that. So really the sky's the limit there with the autofill, feature. So if you're wondering, also, let's say that you actually here's a good one. I believe, and this is just my belief. You can, people can debate this with me, but I believe that no matter what you're into, you can create music for it. Like, what about the person that did such a great job with the sailboat thing?
Yeah, I know Derek Sivers years ago, when he was still running CD Baby, revealed that one of the top-selling albums in some particular year was an artist from Maine that had this album about songs for boats, or about boats and boating.
Right. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? In fact, I just did a search on music for sailboats, and there is quite a community about that, So whatever it is that you're looking for, and a great community too, is the piano community, piano music. You know what I'm saying? There are people that do really well with that. And what's really great about the piano music community, talk about niche market, is people that generally listen to piano music are piano players. And piano players love to have what? Piano music to read, to play. So there's another niche within a niche within a niche, because I make music, I make piano music. I make piano music for pianists. And therefore, I make sheet music. So you keep bringing it down to micro niche levels where you can have all these other forms of interaction and income streams. You know what I mean? Through your micro niche,
right?
Which I think is amazing.
I just realized there's another thing with that autofill thing. So I've got music for, and I had space, and I guess it's giving me the most popular ones to, but you could actually go through the letters of the alphabet. Like if I put in just the letter B, music for B, it shows me ballet class, babies, business, boys, biscuits, music for birds, birth, and so that's
for birth. That's a good one. Yeah.
I put in the letter C, and I got children, creative dance, classroom, cats, cocktails, cooking.
I got one for you. I got one. I put music for letter T, and one of the things it gave me was music for the Royal Fireworks.
Yeah, I get the letter S. I got sleep, studying, sex, sleep and relaxation, sports, slideshows. Wow, stripping.
That's a great idea. Hey,
school, steppers.
Bob, remind me again. How much money do we charge people for this resource?
Let me see. Last time I checked, it was zip. Nilch.
Gosh,
nada.
What is wrong with us? Man, but this is great because I don't know if the folks out there can tell, but we're having as much fun as hopefully you are right now. This is awesome. So anyway, so let's just break it down just to make sure that we know what we're talking about. So first of all, you could decide as a niche, you could do that with your persona. For instance, Alice Cooper. Very serious niche there, with the snakes and the basically Halloween year round when he does his thing, right? Yeah. There's another band. I forget the name of their band. I feel horrible, but they're pirates. They dress up as pirates. They have this great video. If you get a chance, called Pieces of 8. So check that out. Look for Pieces of Eight. It's a music video. These guys are awesome. I can't remember the name of the band. They are just great, but they're pirates. I mean, that's what they do. And as you know, coming up here in the September 19th, I think, is Talk Like a Pirate Day. So, I'm sure they're getting lots of bookings there. And they play music, they play music for grown-ups, not for kids. That's what's really crazy, as pirates. And then there's bands, that do particularly very synthetic kinds of things, and it just goes on and on. So as a personality, you can have a niche as a personality, and that's going to gravitate. Then you can have to an audience, right? Let's say you're a biker band, you play a lot of Harley Davidson shows, things like that. Or you're into race cars, racing. You can go down those roads. And then you have the option of when you record your music, are you going to just record that kind of music? Or are you going to record the kind of music you like and maybe have different projects that appeal to those people? Then you can take it down to the next level, and it's like, how do they like to listen to the music? How do they want to consume it? And you just keep going down, keep going and going and going and going until you own that part of the niche. Nobody else in the world is doing what you're doing, and you dominate. I mean, that's really what that is an option. If you want to be one of those people that want to just not be a player, you want to be the guy. Well, the way to be the guy is to be the only guy doing it. Don't you agree?
Yeah, you will be. You can claim to be. I'm the number one artist in funny golf songs, or whatever whatever that niche is, and it could be true because hardly anybody else is wanting to do that. But it helps if there is a waiting and eager market. Like obviously, there's a lot of people that play golf and they have disposable income, and you have to determine if your particular niche is that they're easy to reach. If they have conventions, if they have blogs, that all that stuff helps and can play into your decision to pursue that, but yeah, it's all about thinking of slicing it and dicing it in different aspects, thinking in the terms of subsets. You have the giant category, then there's a subset. How can you break that down further? Something you can occupy and dominate and have fun with too, So yes, indeed. Good stuff here, sir.
And don't forget, there's also organizations and different groups, special interest groups. I'm not one to be political. It's not my thing, but there's political groups, political comedy, there's political activist music. I mean, it goes all the way back to like Bob Dylan and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hooking up with a political party or whatever. There's, the autism awareness groups, lots of different things you can do. And you can always be the yard sale band.
Which we talked about last time. Which I still think is bizarre, but it could just, it's crazy enough. It just might work.
It just might work. So Bob, is there anything else that we want to add to this? Or are we going to move on to?
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered this one in a pretty thorough way, giving people a lot of stuff to think about. And in fact, thinking about it, let us know what you're thinking. We would love to do that. And we have our new Twitter hashtag, right, that we're having.
That is correct. Yep, the hashtag is MMM Chat, MMM Chat, #, MMM Chat. And don't forget, after you listen to the show this morning on a Monday, or any Monday, you can, at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, jump on Twitter and type in that hashtag. We use it for lots of things. Hashtag MMM Chat. And you can join a live conversation, lasts about 60 minutes, where we talk about and expand on the show today. So today we're going to be talking about niche markets with anybody that likes to join in. And we've had quite the amazing array of people. We've had folks from Ireland, England, United States, Australia, Germany, join the chat. It's just been amazing. I've had, by the way, Carrie Cole and a few others that are our contemporaries even mentioned that they were sorry. We missed the chat. We'd like to come and join in sometime. So I found that quite interesting that they were interested in what we're doing. So I'm looking forward to maybe having a special guest every once in a while. That'd be fun too. So please join us for that. And if you want to get oh, and by the way, we do have a group set up now. Don't forget that, which is on Facebook. It's the MMM Chat group on Facebook. Just search for that and ask to join. And what we do is we expand on both the show this morning and any conversations that we started in the chat on Monday. We just keep expanding, and the conversation never has to stop, and we can all hang out and be friends. It'd be cool.
And that's all you need is another group to manage on Facebook, Billy.
Well, I have no stress in my life whatsoever, so this
None
is
at
awesome.
all.
None.
Plenty of free time.
Plenty of free time.
Yeah, the family is totally independent of you and doesn't never. So
anyway,
yes.
if people want to reach you directly, Bob, or if you have any special things going on, I know you talked about your holiday offering. You want to talk about that real quick before we sign off?
Just all of my stuff is always housed at thebuzzfactor.com, thebuzz, factor.com. And if you click on the books tab, scroll down a little bit, it'll show you like my online courses. And I'm actually loading a lot of my stuff up on a really cool site called Udemy, which is like one of the top kind of online course destinations these days. And you'll find there how to make money as a DIY musician. If you click the links from my page, though, you'll get like 30% off as opposed to going straight to the site where you'll pay full price. But holiday music marketing is the latest one I loaded up, and also the Music Publicity Insider's Guide is now there. Check those out, and just check out all the stuff that's at thebuzzfactor.com, including the podcast link, which has these shows listed on it.
That is so cool. And on Twitter, you are?
Mr. Buzz Factor, MR Buzz Factor.
That's right. You can find me on Twitter at Music Market Mind. And with that, I think we're done now. Next week's going to be an incredible show where we're going to go down the merry road of finding out how to finance your music project without the use of a crowdfunding platform.
Outside of Kickstarter.
Woo! Going to be interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what we talk about that day.
Yeah. This show had a little rocky start, man, but I think we really kicked it into full gear. I'm really happy.
Awesome. Full on rich content. Yeah.
I like how we never actually prepare. We just pick each other's brains and see what comes out.
Yeah, we don't really discuss what we're going to talk. It's maybe just very briefly, but not even. Sometimes we just say, hit it, let's go.
There you go, man. All right. Thanks, everybody. And please keep sharing. Please keep telling people about what it is. And don't forget to interact with us at hashtag MMM chat.
All right. See you on Twitter. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good one.
That was fun.
Are you still there? Excellent! Now would be a good time to visit hostbaby.com for your free 30-day trial. Of course.